Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this Smackdown Talking Points video. We're going to have to do this a slightly different way because the bookmarks are down on X at the moment. Thankfully, I already had a lot of the show bookmarked, but you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. So basically, Cody opened up Smackdown, came out with pyro going off. So the pyro was back after not working the other day on Raw. So Cody was in the ring. Heyman and the Vision came out. Randy came to stand next to Cody. But Heyman was like, I don't want to speak to you, Cody. I want to speak to you, Randy. And I'm here for a Heyman-Randy interaction. That is not an interaction that we tend to see very often. So I was really here for this. And Heyman was basically saying, Randy, what are you going to think when you lose later? And you will lose later. And Cody has been pinned. You're going to look at him and think, is that really our champion? And it was just great how Heyman was planting these seeds. We know that Randy has had a few glances at Cody's championship. So, I mean, that doesn't mean that he's going to turn on Cody, but it does feel like it's going to get there at some point. So Heyman kind of teasing that, but also setting up some excitement for that main event. That main event, it doesn't really mean anything, but it could have meant something if Cody had been pinned and Randy had been looking at him. Then we would have wondered, what is Randy thinking? So this was quite short, actually, for an open, but still very, very good, very intriguing. And just as the segment ended, our main event, of course, Cody and Randy against the Vision, you could just see Randy once again having a little glance at that WWE Championship. Backstage, we had the Miz and Carmelo splitting up. Miz didn't want that to happen, but Carmelo was like, I'm done. I'm out. He actually then went out to answer Sami's open challenge, but was attacked by the Miz. So clearly a feud incoming. So Carmelo against the Miz. That should be quite fun, actually. I'm here for that. So with Carmelo out, it meant that someone had to answer the open challenge, and that person was Aleister Black. Not down on that. I actually think this is going to be quite a good match, or I was hoping it was going to be quite a good match, because I don't think we've seen loads from Aleister Black since he came back. So hopefully this would really grab attention. It's hard to grab attention when the lights go out, and just momentarily they did. So lights went out for a second. So thankfully it was nothing more than that, though. Some people might have missed the lights going out, but they did just flicker off momentarily. This was our commentary team: Michael Cole, Booker T, Kathy Kelly, and Mark Nash, the ring announcer. So Sami using a Blue Thunder Bomb as a legitimate finisher now. So he is, Sami, able to secure the victory. It wasn't quite clean and the match was good. Definitely lived up to expectations. Our community giving it a great 57 rating. But it was Damian that came down, put Aleister through the table, and a distraction as well. It meant that Sami got the victory. Aleister has got other problems, which of course is Damian Priest. And yeah, not a bad open, honestly. I thought the promo at the start was pretty good, quite intriguing, set up the main event well, and then we moved on to a really good match. We also had a bit of a Miz MELO issue in there as well, and we're carrying on with this feud. So yeah, I mean, honestly, so good, so far so good, really good. Backstage, we had Sol Ruca and Zaria. They were confronted by Chelsea and Alba. They're still looking for a new member to replace slaygent P. Slaygent P, of course, seemingly out for a while. Clearly none of these people were going to be interested, and then a match was made instead, a tag match. We did also get this. I mean, there were a few technical glitches at the start of this week's SmackDown. So there you can see a few glitching. Really good entrance, this. I really like this for Zaria. Look at all this lasers, and she just gives off this big aura. And then, of course, Sol Ruca gets in and kind of changes the aura. I won't say she ruins the aura, she changes the aura. But there is some real aura for Zaria. I think her entrance, with her coming out in the entranceway, looks really good. When she's ready to become a heel, kind of wreck people, they've got something there. That was a real kind of focus for me. So this was our next match. It was Zaria and Sol Ruca against Chelsea and Alba, of course. We would get a Sol Snatcher. Look at that. I mean, one of the best moves in all of WWE. So that would secure the win for Sol Ruca and Zaria. Backstage, Alexa and Charlotte were impressed with what they had just seen. Right, we got a bit on ratings that I just wanted to mention. A lot of ratings are coming out now for Raw, for NXT, for Smackdown, and they're coming out quite low, lower than usual. Apparently, the way they've been working out the ratings is different now. You can see the blue line is the old way they used to do it. The orange line is the new way they do it now. There's a real breakdown of information here, which we're not going to get into. We're going to look at that in Unseen, but I just wanted to touch on it because there is a lot of ratings that are coming out that look quite low. I think NXT this week, for example, did like 570,000, which is really low. That's really, we've been nowhere near that this year. But it's not that the show has just died. It's because there's a new kind of way of working out the ratings. And it doesn't seem to be working out very well for wrestling. So just something to be aware of, right? Carmelo Hayes tweeted this out as well. Looks like the Miz's jersey is going to get retired. This is Carmelo letting you know he is coming after the Miz. And when he's finished, we might as well hang his jersey up in the rafters because he will be done. Then we went to our contract signing. This was Stephanie and Tiffany, and I thought this was a bit flat. I didn't really feel like anything really happened here. They both just had a few words. Probably this was the most interesting thing, with Booker just going off.
Those R's a little bit better, Cole. That's Stephanie Vaquer, okay?
Roll those R's a bit better. That is Stephanie Vaquer. That was the most interesting thing until Julia and Kiana came out. They came out and laid out Tiffany. Then they got into the ring and Kiana attempted to offer her services to Stephanie. She said she's already helped Julia establish herself at the top of the division and she's overtaken Tiffany as the top women's champion on SmackDown. Stephanie was not having it though. Tiffany would get back in the ring. This thing, of course, ending in a brawl. Then we'd have Jacob. Jacob had a message for Drew McIntyre. They confronted each other last week. He had a quick little message for Drew, just letting him know, you're not hunting me, I'm hunting you, because I'm all gas, no brakes. So, goods. Then we had Javon. We actually had Javon and Rey Fenix taking on Los Garza. You lot really enjoyed this match. You said it was great. 65. I think it was the highest rated match of the night. Look at the height of the young OG. I think I've actually got a reaction clip on the channel of this moment because that's insane. That looks so good. And then here's the young OG, look, taking out the cameraman. Boom! Taking out his opponent, taking us out as well. If ever you wanted to know what it was like on the receiving end of a young OG suicide dive, bang, there it is. It's a whole new level of experience. It's a win for Javon and Fenix. Don't know if they're going to keep them together long term. Don't know if Javon has been called up. Very interesting. They did say that actually the way they're calling people up now is they are also having them work NXT. So they're doing main roster, but also that's kind of what Javon's doing right now. So don't know. It could just be a few appearances, or it could be that they think he's ready. Okay, Damian challenged Aleister Black to a last man standing match. He also had Kit Wilson, who was going off about toxic masculinity, and so he did this. And then you just heard this big crashing sounds as Kit Wilson was pushed down the ramp. Next time, I wonder if the joke is going to be that as the weeks go by, Kit Wilson's going to get more and more injured. So obviously he's in a wheelchair right now. Next week we see him, he might be bandaged. Next week after that, after banging his head, that might be bandaged. Fast forward about 10 weeks, he might be like fully bandaged up. I can't quite tell where they're going with it, but either way, we know where we're going with Damian. Last man standing match next week. Yeah, this was interesting. So Solo spoke this week about Tala Tonga, but he also said that there's a missing piece. Once he's figured out what that missing piece is, everyone is in trouble. And we were saying during our watch along, there was a rumor that this group was going to feud with the Wyatt Sicks soon. So if they're going to feud with the Wyatt Sicks, could the missing piece be a female? Because obviously there's a female in the Wyatt Sicks, Nikki Cross. So could it be that the missing piece is a female? Or is the missing piece Tama Tonga? The only thing is, if it's Tama Tonga, why did Solo seem so uncertain as to what the missing piece is? He seemed to me to be a bit uncertain. He didn't know what the missing piece was. He seemed a bit unsure. It's like, when I find it, everyone's in trouble. So, I don't know. Is he talking about Tama? Or is he talking about something new? Some people wondered if it might be Zilla, but I don't think it's Zilla. Backstage, we had the Street Profits. They're going to get a championship match next week. The Wyatt Sicks would interrupt. No sign of Uncle Howdy, which I thought was very interesting. They all spoke. Nikki was like stroking her mask, which is kind of interesting. I didn't know if it was a doll or something, but it was her mask. So they're on a collision course next week. So, next week, championship match. We got tag titles being defended. We're in Perth. So, it's going to be live at a weird time on Netflix. But then, of course, it'll be taped and air at its usual time on USA Network in America. We'll do another Sami Zayn Open Challenge next week. We will also have Tiffany and Stephanie against Julia and Kiana in a tag match. And we've got that last man standing match next week. So next week's SmackDown looks to be very, very strong. Then we got to our main event. We had about 20 odd minutes left. So here we had a young lady hitting a Randy Orton pose. This little girl just hit the meanest Randy Orton pose of all time. Then we had this from Bron, charged over, collided into Cody, went through the barricades, and that was as far as I got. And then the flipping folders wouldn't load anymore, and I've just been sat here pressing this button for ages waiting for the folders to load. But I do have an alternative, and that is to go straight into the list, pick up where we left off, which was around here. So where we actually left off was Bron drove Cody into the timekeeper's area. That meant it was just Bronson and Randy. Seth, of course, would get involved. There was a moment where it felt like Heyman was going to go up top and deliver a splash. I did get very excited about that. But we didn't get that far. Then we had Heyman. So Vision won the match. Vision won the main event. It was Randy that was pinned, not Cody, which I think's a bit of a shame, because after what Heyman had said earlier, it would have been fun if Cody had been pinned and then Randy was looking at him, because then we could have wondered what Randy was thinking. But it was Randy that was pinned. Then Cody went in to check on him, and Heyman was like, don't do it, don't do it. He went and did it. He tried to deliver a curb, right? Unfortunately, it didn't work. And Seth got crossroads, and that's how the show came to an end. So there's Heyman, look, climbing up. Referee was like, what are you doing? I think we were all like, what are you doing? But yeah, the show ended with Seth getting crossroads. So there we go. That was SmackDown. And honestly, I thought it was not bad. I really thought it was not bad. I just want to have a look, see if there was any kind of reaction to it. Just want to look, see if there's any wrestlers that have tweeted anything afterwards. But I don't think so. I don't think so. So, yeah, we've got all these bits and bobs that have come out after. But, yeah, no reaction from the wrestlers. But, yeah, that was SmackDown. I thought it was a very watchable show. It kind of moved things along a bit. We had the MIZ MELO situation. We had another great Sami Open challenge. Javon once again on the show in a partnership with Rey Fenix. Is that going to be a long-term thing? We know Rey Fenix was in a tag team with Andrade. Is Javon the Andrade replacement? You know, what are we doing with Randy? We feel like we're teasing something there. Where's Uncle Howdy? That's a question. Are the Street Profits going to be splitting next week? That's a question, right? I feel like there's quite a bit for us to get our teeth into. I think it was solid. I think it was fine. But I don't think it was anything more than that. So next week, our attention turns to what looks to be a pretty stacked SmackDown. And yeah, as well, we will be here, not only covering that, but we'll be here for Crown Jewel as well. So if you are around, come and join us. Share your thoughts and theories. Really appreciate the support. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.